Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic and you are watching Geekin. And for today's video, I would like to talk about the Hasbro Pulse Star Wars Black Series 4-pack set of Star Wars The Last Command. The third story, and some would make the argument the true original Episode 9 of the Skywalker saga of the Thrawn trilogy from the 90s. And this is a 4-pack. What we have here is basically the novel cover art. We see Star Wars The Last Command. We have beautiful box art cover here of our cast of characters, Joruus C'baoth, Mara Jade. We see Luke battling some mysterious shadowed figure. We see stormtroopers. Down here it says Legends, but really it's the expanded universe. Legends is just something Disney does because they're Disney. But anyway, yeah, this is part of the expanded universe. Moving on to the side, we see our cast of heroes and villains right here. We see Joruus C'baoth, Mara Jade, we see Luke Skywalker, and someone who looks strangely like Luke. I wonder who that could be. Moving on to the back, we see comic book art from the old Dark Horse comics from the 90s, which I do have this comic book set too, somewhere. But yeah, we see snippets from the old Dark Horse comics, and looking pretty good. And you know what? That picture right there of Joruus is pretty freaking awesome. He was trying to be the next Palpatine. That's what happened. Opening this box up. Well, looky what we have here. We have a plastic covering for the 4 figures. I like this. Hasbro, you're learning. Thank you. And I do mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. Thank you. You know, what if I decided never to open this? I wouldn't want these figures to get dusty over the years. So this is great. Thank you, Hasbro. Anyway, we have our 4 figures. We see Luke Skywalker. We see Mara Jade. We see Joruus C'baoth. And we have Luke. Okay, yeah, you can make fun of it all you want. Fine. Whatever. It's the 90s, I guess. I don't really have a better answer for you. Anyway, let's open this package up and see what it is all about. Now that we have our 4 cast of characters out of the package, let me just give you a brief summary here. All of these figures are 6-inch Black Series figures, so they all have about the same relative level of articulation, depending on their clothing and their sculpting, but I will be talking about just basically what I think about each figure individually, aside from the sculpting and posing, unless there's anything that particularly stands out, which might be Joruus C'baoth there. But anyway, let's start with Star Wars' most optimistic hero ever, and here we have Luke Skywalker. Now, this Luke Skywalker is predominantly dressed as Return of the Jedi. I guess he just kind of kept the same look after Jedi and after the Form of the New Republic, or at least this is how Dark Horse Comics pretty much depicted him. But there are some differences between him and the other Lukes. But this Luke does have the newer flex right there on the shoulder, the butterfly joint, so that's good. I don't think every character has one of those. And nothing else stands out. You know, he stands well, he does pose well. I do like the look of the outfit. The lightsaber is good. We're gonna zoom in. We got a good lightsaber there, nice little paint apps. You know, especially with the alternating silver and black on the hilt. We got a little bit of the gold there. We got like the kind of like, what is this, Obi-Wan prequel lightsaber look kind of a thing going on there, and this is more or less modeled after Obi-Wan's lightsaber. And of course we got the nice green blade. Now the blades are removable. I'm only going to do this once, and I'm never going to do it again, because very thin plastic. Very thin plastic, and I've already had one of Luke Skywalker's lightsabers break on me in the past, but that was pretty easy. That was pretty easy. Maybe I will keep it removed when he's in storage, because that wasn't that bad. Sometimes these things are a lot harder to remove than others, but you know, you drop this guy and then it just bends and that little peg is broken. But anyway, that's all. This is the only accessory that Luke has. He doesn't have any alternate hands, doesn't have any alternate heads. It's just, you know, basic Return of the Jedi / Thrawn trilogy Luke Skywalker. Now, One issue that I do seem to have, and we'll take this out of Luke's hands right now. Put that down there. I'm not gonna lie. I am not 100% buying this head sculpt. Like, it kind of resembles Mark Hamill, but it kind of doesn't. Now, I think it's been for the past, 10 years? Hasbro's been doing, like, this digital face mapping thing, or I forget what the exact term is called. But they've captured some really good face sculpts. And I'm just not buying this Luke Skywalker. Now, I normally save comparisons for the end, but here's Endor Luke. Now, Endor Luke is definitely dealing with some hat hair, but then again, he also has a removable helmet, because this is, he's also supposed to come with the Endor helmet and the poncho, but that's all removable. So he's definitely got some hat hair going on. But those are definitely two different face sculpts, but I'm buying this face a little bit better than this one. But we're also dealing with different hair colors and all that stuff, so. Even though the hair color, I think, is more accurate to later Luke, this hair color is more like a New Hope Luke. But, and, even differences here, like, this is supposed to be Endor / Death Star 2 Luke. And we even have different sculptings right there, especially, he doesn't have, this is an older model, so it doesn't have the butterfly joint. The crotch piece is a little bit longer than it should be. The legs are completely different. This is completely an outdated mold. I don't think there's anything carried over between the two figures. So this Luke might be entirely 100% new. All right, so there could be that. This might be 100% new sculpt altogether, which also might explain the slightly off look of the face. But I don't think there's anything carried over, because Hasbro likes to recycle parts. I mean, it's cost effective. It works. Maybe the hands are the same. Let's see. We're gonna focus on the hands. The hands aren't even the same. I don't think we have anything that's. Let's do that. Nope. Yeah. Nothing is recycled. This is 100% outdated Luke Skywalker. But we also have, now, since we are talking about the Thrawn trilogy, we also have the heir to the Empire, Luke Skywalker. Now, I would say there's probably more in common. Oh, let's see. Are these the same molds below the waist? Nope. Not even this. Not even the same mold below the waist here. But let's see. Taking these two back out. This head sculpt, I'm buying a lot more. Even though he's I think this is, I don't remember everything about Heir to the Empire, but I think he was either training or he just got out of a fight, or this is like, there was a scene, he was cornered by a bunch of aliens or something. But, I'm buying this head sculpt a little bit better than this one. Like, now we also still have to talk about Luke over there, but, we'll get to that later. But, I mean, we're not even seeing the same, nothing is reused on this one either. And, whoop! And this Luke even has, and this Luke also has the modern day articulation with the butterfly joint. But either way, we got two different Luke Skywalkers from the Thrawn trilogy. One is a little bit more worse for wear than the clean cut version. But then again, this guy can even double as your Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker if you really still want to use him. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think the head sculpt is bad. I think it's a really good head sculpt. I just don't believe it looks like Mark Hamill exactly. So, like, on one hand, the sculpting of the face does look good, but it could be considered, you could consider it a failure because it doesn't look exactly like Mark Hamill, which that's a fair argument to make. You can make that argument. I think that's enough of Jedi Master Last Command Luke Skywalker. No! Luke killed everyone. And then Mara Jade killed Luke. Oh. Just lean up against the thing. Okay. Can we continue? Moving on next to... God damn it! Oh my god, Luke, why do you keep doing this? Moving on to Mara Jade. We're going to take her out right here. Now, again, we have a decent sculpt. She's more or less in... I don't know. I don't think that's black. It's like a dark brown. More like a hot weather kind of desert kind of outfit. You know, got a sleeveless top. We got like a scarf and goggles right there. And I guess this is just more like utilitarian kind of, you know, desert combat. I don't know. I mean, there's no camo, but it's definitely probably meant for hot weather environments. We got a cool belt here. Let's move Mara's arms up. We got a cool belt. I believe this is a separate piece. Yep, it's a separate piece. And it's a lighter brown, soft plastic. Kind of got the holster attached to the leg, and it might even be pegged. Yep, I think it's pegged into the leg. Like this part of the bandolier, this part of the holster is sculpted to the leg. This is separate, but it's pegged into right there, so it doesn't go flopping around. So that's cool. And it's overall not a bad look. I mean, again, this is not a complicated outfit. You know, this is just a basic... This is just a basic brown outfit. There seems to be like a holster. I don't know what this is, to be honest. You would think this is like for a holster, but you know, we already got that right there. So I'm not exactly sure what this is all about. But Mara Jade does come with a few accessories. You know, we'll get to the lightsaber and the gun in a minute, but we do have a couple of different head sculpts, and I actually do like this head sculpt a lot. This is... Now, Mara Jade doesn't really have a real-life actress. I mean, unless you count, like, some kind of a collector's card from the 90s or something like that, or I think box art from the early 2000s, but, you know, that was just a model posing for a picture. I'm not sure if she is really the de facto Mara Jade, but... You know, this is a nice head sculpt. Considering that this may or may not be based off of a real human being, it's good. And I kind of like the hair. Got some nice wavy red hair. I especially like that those locks flowing up there. That's not bad. Kind of nice. And it just, you know, for someone who is like the Emperor's hand and someone who is an assassin sent to kill Luke Skywalker, she has a very calm face. You know, this is a serene-looking face. Now, granted, she does become a Jedi later on, so, you know, you don't want the most violent face ever for your Mara Jade figure, because, you know, she's not always going to be violent and evil. So, I guess, you know, this kind of serene face was the way to go. Or, maybe what they could have done, instead of giving us this desert face, which we'll get to, maybe what they could have done... Oh, God, Luke, you keep falling over! Can this come off, too? Yep. Alright, so the folded up cloth can come up, too, because that, you know, they probably go together. Put that on. Oh, does it come off? Oh, I might have to do this off camera. Oh, no, it doesn't stay on. Okay. Alright. It won't pop on. I mean, I could just, like, really brute force it. Oh, I think I got it. There we go. Let's get Luke up. Luke's having a bad day. Luke met the other Lukes, and I think it disturbed him. Anyway, we're gonna put this face down. Instead of giving us this face with the desert helmet, maybe we could have gotten the serene face for when she turns good, and we could have gotten like an angry dark side face or something. Because, I mean, for at least a good chunk of the Thrawn trilogy, her mission is to kill Luke Skywalker. She's trying to follow the Emperor's, well, last command. And also, I am pretty sure we got a very similar head sculpt to this in the Dark Force Rising version of Mara Jade, but so I don't think we really needed this a second time. But anyway, let's move on to the gun. It's right there in the holster, comes right out. It looks like a Han Solo blaster. Of course, if I had my Han Solo figure with me, I could compare, but it looks very much like a Han Solo type of gun. It's got some decent sculpting, especially right around the barrel, like the little vents. It's not bad looking. You know, soft, pliable plastic, so it'll bend and flex as you need it. She's got her gun, and she's got her lightsaber. Nice purple blade, even though I'm pretty sure she never had a purple lightsaber. I think that was for like a toy in the 90s, and that's all it ever was. But it's not a bad lightsaber. We're gonna hold by the saber's edge. There we go. Okay, so get my other hand. Okay. So nice silver paint, little black detail right there at the band, but nothing too elaborate. Nothing as elaborate as Luke's lightsaber. Oh my gosh. Nothing as elaborate as Luke's lightsaber, but it is nicely sculpted. And let's try it. Let's take it off. I might... Okay, good. Just pops right off. I get nervous. I'm not going to lie. I really get nervous about, you know, removing these lightsaber blades because they just... I've had at least 2 of them break. One of them being one of the 2 Endor... One of them being one of these guys. One of these guys has a broken lightsaber now. But, so I always get a little bit nervous. And there's another lightsaber that I broke a long time ago, and I don't remember. But it just makes me nervous, you know? This is very thin plastic, and this is not meant to be roughhoused. You know, Black Series figures are great for displays. They might even be great for dioramas, but, you know, these lightsabers are not meant for roughhousing. Okay, here we have the Last Command Mara Jade with the Dark Force Rising Mara Jade. And, you know what? Aside from, like, a different color in the belt and a slightly muted face sculpt there, this is exactly the same toy. We even have the same hair sculpt and everything, and nothing new. I guess she doesn't change outfits in at least 2 of the 3 novels. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, it's the exact same mold, you know, comes with the exact same gun, comes with the exact same lightsaber, though I think the hilt is a little bit darker on this one, and it's a little bit curved, unfortunately. But yeah, okay, this is the exact same figure, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a little disappointing. For a 4-pack, I mean, yeah, okay, I expect Hasbro to maybe recycle some parts, or recycle some pieces here and there, but you know what? The face sculpt can make all the difference. I think they should have given us a brand new face sculpt. In that case, give us, you know, fine, the serene face, and this one should have been the angry face, or something like that. I don't know. Even though the 2 face sculpts are not equal, like this Last Command has more definition, and I would say Dark Force Rises is a little bit more muted. Otherwise, we are looking at the same head sculpt. It's just this one is less defined. But damn, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little disappointed. We are dealing with the exact same figure, and that sucks. And I was wrong. The Dark Force Rises one, actually, as it happened to turn out, I do still have the box available on hand. And, you know, the original, this Dark Force Rises version does not come with this head sculpt. So that's okay. I had forgotten. Just says it right back there on the product shots, that just lightsaber, gun, and the figure. And, you know, so this is why we got the extra head. But I still, you know, I still stand by my opinion. Other than this, I think we should have gotten something new on her aside from her belt buckle being a darker color. That's it. That's the only difference that I can spot between these 2 Mara Jades. And that's like, I don't know. I'm not too thrilled about that, but whatever. Now that we got 2 of our 4 figures out of the way, I'm saving Jerusa both for last. So let us go to Luke. As some of you may or may not know, Luke here is the clone of Luke Skywalker. Now, he was cloned by use of Luke Skywalker's severed hand from the Battle of Bespin against his fight with Darth Vader. And Luke lost his right hand and his father's lightsaber all in one swing. And Well, I don't remember who found it, or how they found it, or why they found it, but Luke's hand and lightsaber was found, and somehow ended up in the hands of the Empire before the fall, and was part of a cloning experiment. No, wait, that's not how it went at all. Luke was cloned after the fall. Luke was cloned after the fall of the Empire, I think by Saboth, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. But, yeah, no, this, a good... So, Saboth getting his hands on Luke's DNA plus his father's lightsaber is a good story for another time, which, apparently the Thrawn trilogy answered a lot better than the Disney trilogy. Okay, so here we have Luke, and, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, granted, this is also more recycled parts, but I'm digging it. So starting with the blue cloak, we have a nice cloth cloak right here that he wears. That, it's supposed to be the big reveal. He comes out, pulls the hood back, and, Luke sees his own reflection or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've read the Thrawn trilogy, and, maybe I should reread it again. So, nice cloth cape here. We can just take that right off, throw that right over there, and the body is definitely recycled Obi-Wan Kenobi Clone Wars body, but it's a different color. It's more of a lighter sand kind of color with a belt and pouches and stuff. And, I like the boots. The boots are kind of cool. Boots have that interesting little flare right there, and the buckles that go wrap around. But yeah, this is an Obi-Wan Kenobi body, I believe. Maybe it's a Qui-Gon. I don't quite remember now, but it's a Clone Wars prequel body sculpt. And look at that face right there. That is the face of madness. But then again, Luke is supposed to be a little bit mad. He was cloned, I think, during the events of the story. I think he was a rush job, and he wasn't quite all there. But then again, neither is Saboth. He's not quite all there either. He was quite mad. But I don't know why. I think I'm buying this face. This looks more like Mark Hamill than that one does. And this is the crazy evil version. I love the hair. The hair looks a little bit more wild. I don't think the hair... Let me take a look. Hold on. Let's take a look at Last Command. Let's take a look at Heir to the Empire Luke real quick. Oh no, it's definitely not the same hair. No, okay, so it's not the same hair, and it's probably not the same hair, because this is like one sculpt there. Yeah. Look at that. That's right there. Right there is my thumbnail image for the video. Right here. I've made my decision. This is... I can't stop. This is my thumbnail village. This is my thumbnail image for the video right there. I'm gonna screen cap that. Anyway, but anyway, this is part of the modern. Oh, wait, is it modern? Oh, it might not be. No, there's no butterfly joint here. I see something, but it's so... Oh, no, oh, there we go. It just needed to be loosened. It is a butterfly joint. So this is modern engineering. So I got the butterfly joint. Love that. This one needs to be broken into a little bit. Broken into, not broken. Good. Okay. But otherwise, this head sculpt definitely captures the madness of this clone. The body itself is good, poses well, all that stuff. I already said, their posing is going to be the same as any Black Series figures. So far, aside from Luke, this is the only guy right here who's having trouble standing up on a consistent basis. I've had to stop the video at least 3 times because this guy keeps falling over. But everyone else seems to be standing fine for the most part. Here we have Luke Skywalker's first lightsaber, Anakin's before his, and I'm pretty sure it's the same lightsaber that I've seen with other Black Series Lukes. I do have the Dagobah Luke, but I didn't bring it with me for this. But but it's the same, you know, sculpting. It's not a bad sculpt. Silver plastic, or the silver paint and the black look good. I don't see a lot of sloppiness. The blade probably comes off, and oh, this one's tougher. Oh no, okay, it's fighting me. No, it's fighting me. It's fighting me, and I'm not going to risk it. Sorry, I'm not doing it. So this blade does not come off from the hilt easily. I mean, I could do it if I exerted a little bit more pressure or a little bit more force, but quite frankly, I don't want to risk breaking it. Oh, there's a little red button there too. Didn't notice that. But yeah, so the blade is not coming off the hilt, and I ain't risking it. Last, but certainly not least, our secondary villain of the Thrawn trilogy, and that is Jorus C'baoth. C'baoth. I'm gonna say C'baoth. Jorus C'baoth. C'baoth. Jorus C'baoth. I keep saying it wrong. Apparently, I've been saying it wrong the entire video. I've been saying it wrong for probably the past 30 years. But, you know, I think I'm slightly dyslexic. Just slightly. I am crushing your head! Anyway, Jorus C'baoth. And here we have Gandalf the Grey. Well, sort of. That is a very Gandalf-looking face right there. Except if Gandalf was on his last nerve. So anyway, so now here we have, like I said, he was one of the two villains of the Thrawn trilogy. The other one being Grand Admiral Thrawn himself. And I don't know if this is any recycled pieces or brand new. This could be like a Darth Revan piece, the plastic rope, but I could be. I don't have Darth Revan with me, but I'm not entirely sure. Darth Revan was a pretty short guy, so I don't think this is the same. This might be all new stuff right here, but you know, Jorus is in a brown robe, mostly plastic. We got some soft cloth for underneath, and he just kind of looks like a really angry hippie Gandalf. Yeah, he looks like hippie Gandalf, except on his last nerve. He has this cool gold medallion here, which looks like the Orin from the Never-Ending Story, and you know, I would say mostly decent sculpting. He's kind of shirtless. He's an old man, likes to show off his abs. Let's see, under the cloth cape here, we see he's got sandals. Yeah, like I said, angry hippie. Pants. I like the straps around the leg. The straps around the legs are pretty cool. I don't recognize any of these parts from previous molds. I mean, granted, I don't own every single Black Series figure, so there could be something else in here that, you know, is recycled, but I don't know what it is. But I mean, you know, we got all black, dark brown, sandy brown, regular brown. This is, you know, the color palette is not the most exciting in this set. But I mean, I think that's how it was depicted. I mean, I would say Mara Jade is you know, especially in this image. I mean, some blue highlights would not have killed this figure, I don't think. But you know, this is kind of how he looked in the cover art of Heir to the Empire, and of course, even the cover art. Well, the cover art on The Last Command definitely has him more of an ethereal look. But I think that had more to do with him using his Force meditation stuff. Like, the whole point of Thrawn recruiting C'baoth was to use, like, Force meditation to give the Empire, or to give the Imperial troops and the fleet a little bit more of, like, a morale boost or something. Like, that was Thrawn's whole thing. Like, the Thrawn trilogy, he uses Force wielders to get what he wants. And even in the Ahsoka series, Thrawn uses the Night Sisters to kind of get what he wants. So in both stories, he's definitely utilizing Force wielders to work for him. Or, you know, I suppose in the Ahsoka series, they were working with him. It was a mutually beneficial thing. In the Thrawn trilogy, C'baoth, they kind of had like a very loose alliance. They didn't really like each other all that much, but they kind of had a deal worked out, and as long as both adhered to that deal, I guess, you know, things were semi-copacetic between the two of them. But anyway, the good thing is about Jerus here is that the sculpting of the cape and the soft goods do not really get in the way of his articulation all that much. So that was the only thing I really wanted to talk about for articulation, because they all pretty much have the same level of articulation. It's not too extreme, not really. But yeah, let's just focus on that head sculpt again. Let's look at that face. Let's look at that. Like that is a face that is looking at you. This toy is looking back at you. You know, I really like the dirty gray wavy hair. Definitely works for him. You know, the medallion's kind of cool. I like that just a little accessory. I'm sure if I were to pop off his head, it seems to be a separate piece, so I can kind of, you know, move it around a bit. But anyway, moving on to accessories, let's talk about Sabaoth's lightsaber. So here we have a unpainted brown lightsaber. Maybe it's a gunmetal gray. I suppose you can make that argument, but it looks a little. It's just dingy. It's basic. It only has a couple of buttons. Not as dynamic as, like, let's say Luke's lightsaber, or even Mara Jade's lightsaber. Not as you know, not as ornate. Just very, very bland, very functional. And of course, we have the red blade right here. Let's. All right, that comes off, and this is a different type of peg. This is where Luke and Mara's lightsaber had a single peg. This is like a ribbed one, which might be better for stability, but you can even tell there's like a slight tilt. There's a slight tilt there, which does, you know, looks like the blade might not be, you know, it does kind of look like it's at an angle a little bit. Sabaoth does come with two extra accessories, and that is Force Lightning hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to take his hands off. We're just going to... Okay, hold on. I might end up knocking over the camera. Oh, this is tight. Oh my god. I'm going to take... I got to... There we go. Had to do it off camera, because otherwise I'd run the risk of taking everything off. Okay, so we just Count Dooku'd Sabaoth here. And we're going to give him some new hands. And... Oh man, even putting it on is difficult. Okay, there we go. All right, all right, good. I did put the correct hand on the correct wrist. Okay, there we go. And here we have Dark Force Lightning hands. And I think that is kind of how it was in the cover art. I don't know. I'll have to. I don't have it in front of me, but I think that's what it looked like. Or maybe they were just like laser beams just coming, like straight line laser beams coming out of his fingers. But I think that's kind of how it looked in the Heir to the Empire novel. But yeah, so he's got these cool Force Lightning hands. You know, he can Force Lightning Mara Jade and Luke, and then have Luke kill them both or something. And I wonder if these hands will fit on the Emperor, because I do have Return of the Jedi Emperor, but for some reason, he didn't come with any Force Lightning hands. I thought that was a bit strange. But, yeah, I mean, this is kind of cool. I dig it. I like the Force Lightning hands. They're not bad. I mean, it's one piece. You have the hand sculpt, and the hands are probably clear plastic, because then it just kind of fades into this clear blue. And you can see it here with both hands. Okay. Whoop. And they just, you know, it's one piece. You can definitely tell it is one piece, so you gotta be careful with these hands, because they could, you know, paint chip one of these days. Though that might not be too bad if they paint chip a little bit. It could look like the lightning is surging through his hands as well, which that could be an interesting touch. But yeah, I would say that this set is awesome. I'm very happy to have this set. I am a huge fan of the Expanded Universe series, especially the Thrawn trilogy. You know, the more I watch the Disney Star Wars, like, the more I appreciate the EU. Like, the Ahsoka series I thought was really good. The Kenobi series was okay. You know, the Acolyte, well, well, we know about the Acolyte. That show crashed and burned. You know, these characters right here are my sequel trilogy characters. And it was definitely a good set. I'm glad I finally got them. I mean, in spite of the fact I think Luke's face doesn't look quite right, his outfit looks better than the Endor Luke I got, like what, 3 or 4 years ago. And even the Heir to the Empire Luke is decent, but not quite where I like it. Mara Jade, I'm just disappointed that she's pretty much a carbon copy of the Dark Force Rising set, except with the desert headband face sculpt. And Luke, the clone, I really like it. Yeah, okay, he's got a recycled Obi-Wan Kenobi body, but the face sculpt is really good. He has that very menacing, wild-eyed look to him, and the cloth kind of adds to the effect. And lastly, Jerus Sabaoth is the best character in this set, in my opinion. He has that really cool, dark, mad look in his eyes, and that face sculpt looks great. I like the Force Lightning hands, even though the Force Lightning hands might be recycled Emperor hands. I don't really know. And I just find them a little bit more interesting. It's, they're all fine and dandy, but Jerus Sabaoth is the number one character for this box set, in my opinion, because it's also great to have another Force wielder, he's not really a Sith, he's not really a Jedi, he's a mad Force user, and this guy was nuts. And it was it's cool to have another unaligned, just kind of mad Force user. He's not, instead of just having a Sith Lord running around as a new villain, this guy was technically unaligned to either Sith or the Jedi, and I think he is the star of this set, in my opinion. And that's it for my thoughts on the Last Command Black Series set. Please tell me in the comment section what you think of this set. If you have it, if you like it, if you hate it, tell me what your thoughts are on the Thrawn trilogy in general. Like, share, and subscribe, all that jazz. You know the drill. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.